You can give everyone here like a $50,000 check, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently. A $50,000 check, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%.
So there's definitely a change going on. There is definitely a change going on.
For example, we have the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States. Yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible?
Definitely a change going on. When it comes to content, when it comes to music, when it comes to pop culture, politics, so many things are changing so fast, and a lot of people don't really realize it. Because when it comes to media and what people are posting on the regular, if you noticed, a lot of people are trying to be more politically correct.
I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people.
The look on her face is priceless. Just look at the look on her face. She's like, I cannot believe what this young black man is saying. But yeah, that's what he's saying.
Against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories, using black-only dormitories because black people feel safer amongst each other. But they're more likely to kill each other.
And of course, Megyn Kelly from Fox News. This is definitely in her territory.
They brought on this woman, Amanda Seales. This is a woman who is extremely woke.
Because I'm sure she loved this, and definitely she commented on it. To see like a conservative black man going against another black woman.
Comedy special on HBO, and she is very woke. And all you need to do is take a listen to her to figure that out. So the
saying reparations are actually not going to make a difference. If anything, it's going to probably leave black people in the same position or actually make their situation worse.
That black people have not been considered an equal human being in this country since its onset. So there's simply no way to make the argument that there isn't systemic racism. And
So to her surprise, I could actually say people don't want to be victims anymore. It's just a young black man with an older black man. Not everybody want to be victims. You know, some people are really good at playing the victim card. You know, they want to play victim all their lives. But not every generation, like not this generation. No, they're tossing in their victim cards. They're not victims. They're taking control of their own lives and their own narrative. That is what I'm sensing.
Woman, Amanda Seales. This is a woman who is extremely woke. She's got her master's degree from Columbia. She's an actress, comedian. She had shows on Nickelodeon, MTV2.
Amanda Seales definitely going to Columbia, so she's not a dumbass. She definitely has some brain in her head. The fact that she's been involved in so many different things within the pop culture, that means, you know, she's very, very influential, you know? So to hear her having this conversation with all these conservative black men, it's really interesting. This is not what I'm used to seeing from Amanda Seales, but like I said, there's a lot of change. Things are changing. Entertainers are becoming podcasters and content creators.
Known as my source for news, opinion, and the world, or MS Now for short.
And part of that change is MSNBC changing to MS Now. I don't know what's going on between MS and NBC, but definitely, you know, MSNBC had a lot of issue with Trump. It seemed like they seem to be bashing Trump a lot, especially when it comes to a lot of their coverage. It seemed like they're really anti-Trump. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I know this is 2025. A lot of things are changing. Politics are changing. Steve Colbert, there's a change within the late night hours. And then when it comes to like just other content,
Melber and others as personality, as Rachel Maddow and Ari Melber and others as personalities and as a favorite of liberals, will be known as my source for news, opinion, and the world, or MS Now for short. It's all getting a new name.
It's ridiculous the amount of change that is going on, especially when it comes to hip-hop, music. And the Teen Choice Award with Nickelodeon, still a change. So most people seem to think your favorite musicians, movie stars, entertainers, especially people in the entertainment business, a lot of people seem to think they are going broke. What do you think? Like, I'm hearing all these content creators saying, or even musicians themselves saying, there's no money in the industry. Like, they're actually losing money on the craft itself, which is the art. You know, they make a majority of their income from sponsorship and the situation in DC, I'm not sure if it's getting better or if it's getting worse. It's mixed reviews when it comes to having a National Guard in DC.
Made 23 arrests last night. Mayor Muriel Bowser says she'll work with federal officials, but stresses the police chief still runs the department. The president has called a response to a lawless city. The White House says about 850 officers and agents made 23 arrests last night.
Most people like it, most people don't. What do I think about it? I feel like it depends on what side you stand on. I mean, I'm sure for the elderly, this is a good thing, you know. For the younger guys who may be profiled, right? It may not be such a good thing. When I mean profiled, you know, just because you're young, or you may have a tattoo, or you may carry your hair a certain way, you may just be looked at a certain way. So that's what I mean. Some people may be profiled. But for the elderly, I don't think they're going to have any issues with that. And so definitely certain demographic may be targeted. That is how some people feel, and which may just be true. But do I think this would make things a little bit better? Having more cops and police presence, you know, definitely would make people behave better, especially younger people. That would definitely make them behave better. Like, everyone behaves better when police are around. So I'm not sure how long they could hold this up for, but I'm sure, I mean, based on what I understand, this is supposed to, they're supposed to only be out there for about a month. Who is to say after a month things are not going to return just to normal of how, you know, business as usual. Cops are not around anymore. It's kind of like you pull up on any block. It doesn't matter how hard the police try to police that area. As soon as the police officers are gone, I give it a few hours, maybe a day, and things are back to normal. Except if the people who are committing those crimes are locked up, and then it may take a little bit more than a day or a few hours. But a lot of times, the crime returns to that same area. That's what I've noticed. It may take some time, but the only way you could clean that up is if you lock up every criminal that was in that area. You put a police presence there 24/7. When I mean 24/7, there's always a police officer in that area. You do that for about a year. You may be able to change people's mind about that particular spot, especially if they already know it's a hot spot where people come and, you know, get whatever they're looking for, which is not being sold in stores, particularly, you know, paraphernalias, things that are not legal, you know. Yeah, they get those on the streets. That's the only way I feel like those areas could be actually policed and a change can be made. But I mean, what Trump is doing right now is definitely a strong message. Is definitely sending a strong message. But is it actually going to work? Only time will tell. I may be wrong. I may be very wrong. I hope it works. I hope it works. You know, DC definitely needs to be cleaned up. I'm not going to lie about that. Because when I first moved into the city, I was surprised. I'm like, if this is the capital of America, this is definitely not a good representation. Like, it's supposed to be way better than this. Like, you have all these historical buildings, and it's like nobody gives a... So they need to do better, honestly. So with Trump, of course, people that don't like Trump, people with TDS, Trump derangement syndromes, I'm sure they have an issue with this. Automatically, they would have an issue with this. Even if Trump was doing some great, they would always have an issue. But you have those who may not have TDS and they still may have an issue with this, but only time will tell. Because if Trump is able to clean up DC within a month or two, those same people who are bashing him right now, we're going to see what they have to say at that point. Probably some people will still be anti-Trump because they choose to not like him. It doesn't matter if he's doing good or bad, you know. And then you have those who just may be swayed and become a Trump supporter for him doing such an amazing job and showing strength, even though a lot of people were against what he thinks would work to clean up the city.
Like for the stand results fair. That's what they do with the sauce here. I really like this, I really like winning, making a killing. Gotta be kidding, bling the villain. Niggas are silly. Show me that, show me that, show me that. Ego, 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 ego. Show me that ego, 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 ego.
It's all good from the hood to the birds I've been they curve. As a swerve, that's my word. I'm blending verbs with my words. On the scene with the beam, on the scene with the theme. Music playing clean. What you mean? I'm on the team, man. I'm still on the block. Like I'm still on the clock. I'm still on a rock, on the road to the top.
I really like this, I really like winning, making a killing. Gotta be kidding, bling the villain. Niggas are silly. Show me that, show me that, show me that. Ego, ego, ego.
Brand deals and maybe live performances. But, you know, I don't know what it is. I don't know what to blame. But one thing I do know is, like, the internet has affected so many businesses. Do you want to go back to the days of Blockbuster? Do you want to go back to the days of CDs? Or should we start talking about, you know, just cassettes, go that far back? So with the internet, or when a new technology comes out, another technology definitely go out of style. And people, you know, they always on to the next one. What is brand new, what is new, what is current? Everybody wants a piece of what is current. So the same thing for the internet. Businesses They all moved online. Amazon, man, become a billionaire, you know, just selling books. Started selling books, you know, before people even knew what the internet was. So if you really think about the trends and how things are moving, the internet has affected so many parts of our lives. And I feel like we are just starting to feel the impact of what the internet is capable of, you know? The mystery that artists, movie stars, athletes, you know, that mystery where you're just like, oh my God, that is Michael Jackson. You know, he's a millionaire. Everybody knows him all over the world. In this generation, that mystery is completely gone. You know, at this point, if Michael Jackson was in this generation, he would have probably be posting TikToks and trying to go viral on social media to stay relevant, you know? Whereas in the past, it was like, how much could you, seclude yourself from people and just keep them thinking or imagining what they think you are, you know? And that just kind of created this whole mystery and this vibe where people, where you're not in their face every day, but the day you do pop out, everybody's happy and they want to be part of it and they want to see you, you know, especially when you're doing your thing. Not in this generation. If you go quiet on social media for a day or two, people be like, oh, he fell off. If you're not talking about your craft, oh, did he retire? Did he quit? Yeah, definitely, people's attention span is so short. And besides that, they have so many other things to take their time. So, I'm basically saying they have options. It's kind of like a guy who has multiple women, you know? If one of them is acting up, it's like, okay, whatever, on to the next one, right? Yeah, that is what it is. If an artist does not drop any music, the fans will easily jump on the next bandwagon and start supporting somebody else. And by the time you come back, it's almost like, yeah, dude, you lost me. I kind of moved on. Does it make any sense? So artists are having to do anything to stay relevant, which is like, that is where they do anything for clout. You know, people would do almost anything just to have people talking about them. Not because they're going to get money the very next day. It's just they think as long as they're being talked about, that creates an avenue for them to maybe get money, which is not always the case. A lot of times, some people just, all you're going to get is views. Views does not mean money. Views, like a million view on your record right now does not even get you up to $5,000. So are you trying to go viral because you want to make $5,000 on your content or whatever? Or maybe less than that, and then maybe potentially do something completely stupid that may potentially get you in trouble, or may create a feud between you and a friend for the rest of your life? Or like, people are doing so many things and not thinking about the consequences of it just because they want to be popular online. And the people you're doing all these things for, they're so quick to forget. Let you not post for a day or two, they would move on. The algorithm would leave you behind. So the algorithm would keep sharing your content as long as you stay consistent and you're relevant and people are watching your stuff. And the moment you're not doing that, or something switched within the algorithm, now you have to figure out what the new trick is to get the views. Because the people who are watching your videos, they're not the people that follow you. No, it's just the people who are into that kind of content, and not because they come searching for your page. The algorithm just noticed people are into this kind of content, and the algorithm chose to serve that to them, not because of anything you did. So stop feeling special, okay? Dude, glory be to God, dude, not to man. You know, even though men like to glorify themselves, honestly, in this generation, I think you could do what you need to do, but you are definitely not in control, especially when it comes to the internet. You are not in control. You know, except if you have your own website. Even at that, you're still not in control, because your website could be blocked, shadow banned, whatever. You know, only you could access that website, and anybody else from out of your state or whatever it is. Like, anything can be done to your website. So at this point, it's not about you. The only way you can control your craft is if you are completely independent. You're doing direct to consumers. You're selling your merch. You're moving stuff out of your trunk, which is like unheard of in 2025. I don't think there's anybody else still trying to move their merch out of their trunk or sell their movies directly to the consumers. Athletes cannot control what goes on the court, because they cannot just individually change or make money on their own. They need to be part of a team. So in that case, you're always going to need somebody else. So like I said, I don't know if athletes are going broke, if musicians are going broke, if movie stars are going broke. But one thing I do know is it was always exaggerated. We thought they were doing really good. And then the internet came about. Everybody has a phone now. Everybody could broadcast and record anyone, so there's nothing hidden underneath the sun, you know? There's nothing definitely hidden underneath the sun in this generation, because even if you're not exposing yourself on social media, if you're popular enough, somebody's gonna see you moving about in your everyday life, and they would record you doing something you probably should not be doing, or probably something you usually do, but you don't want the world to know that you do. That's all it takes. So Change. 2025, a lot of things are changing. A lot of things are changing. It's almost not cool to be a liberal in this generation. A lot of Democrats have switched to becoming Republicans. A lot of people who did not like Trump before are now Trump supporters. Yeah, more change. Anyhow though, let me know what you think about this video. Thanks for watching.